guys, me again. I know you missed me oh so very much. We just talked about the North African campaign. Let's get into the Pacific Theater. This video will focus on the start of the Pacific Theater with the attack on Pearl Harbor, all the way to the turning point of the Pacific Theater, the Battle of Midway. So without further ado, let's get going. The Pacific Theater. This took place in the Pacific Ocean, all of the islands in the Pacific Ocean. All right. So background information, right, really quick. Japan invaded French Indochina, which is modern-day Southeast Asia, countries like Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, all the countries like that we will actually get to later on once we get to the Cold War, to attempt to control supplies, right? We stopped trading with them. We said, dude, you are acting aggressively. We are not trading with you. And that made Japan angry. So angry, in fact, that they decided to do something bad. So on December 7th, 1941 is the date that will live in infamy. Infamy means that it is a famous date, but it is not famous for a good reason, right? So if you're infamous, Hitler is infamous. Everyone knows who Hitler is, but he's not a good guy, so he's infamous, right? Versus like a famous person would be, oh God, I don't know, Ben Affleck, because he's a movie star and people like him, myself included. So anyway, on December 7th, 1941, a date that will live in infamy, right? The Japan Air Force attacked our naval base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. All right. They did this mostly through kamikaze attacks and torpedoes. All right. So they flew their airplanes into the sides of our massive naval ships and sunk them with torpedoes, as the video there actually kind of shows you. Their whole goal of this was to destroy our Navy, and they wanted to kill our morale. Right? Keep us distracted, like, oh no, they attacked our people. We can't fight back. But like, here's the thing, Japan, know your enemy. Not to quote Green Day or anything, but do you know your enemy? Come on, right? Shocking, America was not going to just let that happen to them, all right? If you've ever looked at American history, we've never, ever taken crap from a foreign nation whenever they do something like that to us, right? On December 8th, literally 24 hours after the attack, President Roosevelt was in front of Congress asking for a declaration of war, which is officially how you declare war, and Congress approved it unanimously. All right, let's go to war. And we were officially at war with Japan. So, LOL, Japan, come on. So anyway, here are just some pictures of Pearl Harbor, all right? It was not a good scene. I would very much compare this to 9/11. All right, in a lot of different aspects. One, it was a surprise attack, right? We knew we made Japan angry, but like we weren't expecting them to actually come. And in fact, a lot of the casualties happened because they attacked Pearl Harbor on Sunday morning around 7 in the morning, right? I don't know about you. I am still personally sleeping at 7 a.m. on Sundays, right? So a lot of people, they thought it was a drill. When they heard the airplanes flying low, they thought it was an Air Force drill. Whatever. So they weren't really paying much attention to it until they realized, that's fire. Oh my God, they blew up something. And then, of course, as you can see in this picture, you can see the Japanese red circle, which is their flag on the ships. Those aren't American planes, all right? So anyway, FDR was basically a hero during this time, and the dude was president for 4 terms. Unprecedented. Anyway, however, now we quickly found out, we thought this would be easy because we're America and let's face it, we're awesome. But to quote Green Day again, America, do you know your enemy? Okay, so here are some Japanese fighting tactics for you. They thought to die for their country was the highest honor ever, right? So if you were a kamikaze pilot, that's a suicide mission, flying your plane into a ship like that, that was the highest honor that you could get. Right? So if you were in the family, if you had a family member who was a kamikaze pilot during this time, you were sitting pretty in the Japanese government, right? This is kind of part of an old code with the samurai way of life. Loyalty and honor until death do you part. Do not live in shame as a prisoner, die and leave no ignominious crime behind you. And never, ever surrender. Ever. All right. You will hear some fun facts here. Here are some pictures of kamikaze pilots for you. There's a fun fact. There was a member of the Japanese military who was on an island until 1974, and he didn't surrender. He knew that the war had ended, but he was too afraid to go back to Japan, admitting that he surrendered because he thought that he would be killed, which is true in World War II times, this was 29 years later. The dude was on an island for 29 years. All right. So anyway, there's a picture of him. But let's get to the Battle of Midway here real quick. So we got involved immediately in the war in the Pacific, and it was not pretty. Because of the Japanese fighting tactic, they were relentless, tenacious, insert any adjective that you want here. They were insane with fighting. And we figured that out. Most people, right, like we're told, yeah, it is, if you're in the military and you die for your country, it is honorable, but the whole goal is ideally not to, right? And so we were going up against people who weren't afraid of dying. And that is a very scary thing to go up against in a time of war. Because again, basic human instinct, it's terrifying, the thought of dying, right? But the Japanese, they were not afraid of it. So there is nothing that we could do that could really scare them. Right. And that's how the war in the Pacific went. So we got the Battle of Midway. This happened a few months after the bombing of Pearl Harbor in late 1941. So this happened in June of 42. This is known already as a turning point in the Pacific theater. Right. We obviously still had 3 whole years of war to go through and a lot more deaths. But the plan was Japan wanted to eliminate our power in the Pacific. Right. They wanted to just get rid of us, go away. Right. In the reality, though, we have American code breakers, and they figured out the time and day of the attack, so it gave us plenty of time to figure it out. Anyway, casualties, as you can see there, guys, this is astonishing. We only lost 307 people. Now, granted, that's still 307 American lives lost, right? But look at the comparison. The Japanese lost way more. They lost 3,000 people, okay? So that really shows you we were prepared. This was supposed to be another surprise attack. Don't mess with America. Stay tuned for the rest of my video.